Okay, so I measured this with calipers, and when I went from shaft to shaft, I brought a big set home from work that's pretty accurate brand of tool. See if I can get a little better light here. There you go. So I measured from here right on the edge to here right on the edge, which this is a straight shaft, so anywhere on there is fine. This one's tapered, so I measured right on the edge. So I went out to out, took that measurement, wrote it down. Then I measured right here right on the edge, took that measurement, wrote it down. Measured here, wrote that down. Subtracted half of that thickness and then half of that thickness from the overall to find out where I was at. I came up with I was off 0.02 of an inch. So I was buying some stuff from Hunter Works anyway, so I went ahead and grabbed their Hunter Works alignment checking tool, and he calls it a go or no go. So this side is smooth. Put the name out, put that on there, and you can see that just slides right on the shaft real easy. And he shows you this in his video, but you put that on there and then a little bit of movement, very little. Then you put it on this shaft, the taper one, put it on all the way. Pretty much no, if you put it on tight enough, you get no movement. So when I put this on here, I was thinking, oh, mine's only off 0.02, so that ain't a big deal. Well, I put it on there and I got it to there and I couldn't get to go on. I looked down there and it's like, huh, maybe I'm off more than 0.02, or 0.02 is enough to worry about. Since I was already torn into this, I had the cover on at that time, so I went ahead and pulled the cover off, which is a little more of a pain than I thought it was going to be. You've got these 3 bolts here, these 3 bolts here, 1 bolt down here. You got this hose that's zip tied to a heat shield for the fuel line. You've got these all up in the back, that's on this side of the duct going into the airport that goes up underneath the hood. And then right up here there's another exhaust part that comes off that was up there on the top, and it had a line going through it. So it was more of a pain than I was anticipating. But once you get that off and the tool didn't fit, it was so close, I thought, I'm going to loosen these 2 and see what happens. So I just loosened these 2. You're supposed to loosen these 2 and the 4 on the other side. But I loosened those 2, and then I took this tool and I went up here and it almost went on, and I just moved this just by hand and I was able to get it to start. And then I pushed it on the rest of the way, and as he describes in this video, on a 1000, when this step at the end of the splines, it steps up and then it has that shaft. When that's flush with this, he says that's square. So I checked that for myself, and I looked at where it was on this. When you take it off and you put it on just the shaft, that's about where it stops. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. So I was so close, I only had to loosen these 2 for it to move. So I loosened those 2. I put this on. I gave it a little tap with my dead blow. And then I torqued these to 64 pounds, which is what they say Polaris recommends. I don't have my service manual yet, so I'm getting all this information off of other videos. And then I went over to the other side, and those were all still tight. I never loosened them. And they're supposed to be torqued at 44. So I went ahead and checked all them. They were all tight. So I got just enough movement. I didn't really jump when I was at the dunes that last time, or actually be the time before last. But I was going down the whoops pretty good speed, trying to see how well the suspension handled it. And you know, you have to consider the machine and the design of the suspension, but I was impressed. It did pretty good. Naturally, it's not going to be like the big bad boys with the big trailing arms and 22 inches of travel and more, but it's really good. And I never bottomed out going through the whoop section. So I guess that allowed this to move, just that hair. So looks like this tool works. I will probably not get the SDI plate. They make a plate that goes on here. You take these bolts out and it's got a knurled back on it. You put these bolts back in, or it gives you longer ones, I don't remember. Anyway, you put that on there and it puts more force in this area to help this from moving under extreme load. Because you got your belt trying to pull these two together, and you know, when you bounce the machine, everything's trying to pull this side of the motor together. So their plate helps hold that, and they have plenty of videos on that subject. But if I ever notice it move again, I will definitely put one of those SDI plates on there, just to try and make it bulletproof so I don't have to worry about this. So we're going to clean everything up. So that's what I got for you on the alignment. I hope that helps. This is just one piece of my problem that I'm trying to resolve with my slight belt slippage. Maybe a combination of everything. I don't know. Maybe the belt was worn just a hair on the outside dimension, and this dimension's off just a hair. Maybe my spider was backed off just a hair. I don't know about that yet. So I've got that torn apart, and I won't really know until they put it back together. Okay, so now we'll torque this part. I did that to 290. Now this part, I'll put a little of this 7088 on here. Get my finger down in there. Come on. There we go. 7088 on there. Don't need the glove. Put some 620. 90 degrees of that. I guess actually it's 180 degrees. And I'm putting a little extra on there, just in case. I'll take that nut, screw that down on there, put the tool on there, tighten that up. And this is already set to 250. And the nut gets torqued to 250. It's like you feel absolutely no movement. Wow. That's amazing. Alright, there it is. 250 on the spider nut, and I can see the compound oozed out there. Okay, so there's that. So so now we will move it back in the shop, and I can start putting the top back together. I think I'll get a rag and wipe the excess out of there. Let me show you. You see that down in there? It's a little bit of the goo sticking out in there. So that's in there good. Okay, so now we gotta take this X and this X and line them up. I'm gonna take the blue washer, put the, oh, forgot I was gonna wipe some of that goo out of there from the Loctite. So then we take this blue washer, put that on, take this spring, put that on there, line the X up with the X, put that on there. So I have never done this without my spring compressor. So I see people just pushing this down. I think I'm at the wrong height. Maybe if I move it over here, a little more force. I'm just leave it in this mount until I get it out. Until I get it out. Until I get it all together. Maybe not. Alright, that's hard to do. So I'm not doing it. Alright, get that spring back out of the way. And I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Alright. Like that. Get that out. And then... Okay, well, it didn't say in the instructions, but at least I didn't see them. This is what comes with it. But you just use your puller. Makes sense. Puller gets it off of there, and your puller takes it off of here. Off of this tapered deal. Well, I don't like that. This has marks in it. Well, now I'm scared. Look at what inside my clutch looks like. Oh, son of a... Now that's all marred up. How the hell? I don't know that you can see it. I cannot win here. That's marred up there. That'd be because when I went to take it loose, this thing spun just a hair. This whole shaft, this and everything, spun on that just a hair. Oh, God. You don't want that on there screwing up the... Screwing up the output shaft of the engine. Now I have to fix that. Oh, I am currently not real happy with this whole belt drive system. Okay, well, I guess I'll set this together so that that part's done, and then I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna clean that up. Make sure that it's absolutely smooth in there so I don't gouge my shaft. Damn it. All right, more to come. Okay, so I had to sand the back of this with some very fine wet dry sandpaper to get the little burrs out of the tapered part that happened when that thing spun on my tool. And so I got this on, got this on, got those hoses on, got everything rerouted up there. Fuel line here, it's all rerouted, ready to go on. UPS says I have a belt that's going to be here tomorrow. Okay, so I got it back together, and it's got the Hunter Works belt on it. And I'm just driving around the yard a little bit to break the belt in. And low range, kind of playing with the throttle. I've got 2.2 miles, 14 minutes. I'm at 202 degrees. I don't know if you can see that. So now I'm at 15 minutes, so I'm going to park it, let it cool down a little bit, and then I'll go drive around the yard again and do that a couple times. That's what I did originally with the first belt. I did that 3 times, just cruising around low range, playing with the throttle. I'm not liking the fact that every once in a while I'm hearing a sound. There's noise is friction, friction is slippage, so I don't like that. So we'll do this a couple times tonight, and then depending on how tomorrow goes, I'm supposed to have the G-Boost world's best belt, or greatest belt, whatever it's called, and maybe I'll throw it on and then break it in tomorrow night, doing the same kind of thing, and then load it up for hunting and hope for the best. In theory, I'd have 2 belts that are broke in, and I do have the old Polaris one in here that was glazed, and I scuffed it all up, got rid of all the glazing, washed it with dish soap, and keep that for an absolute emergency. I don't think I trust that belt anymore, so I might find a Ziploc bag or vacuum bag that I could put it in eventually, and then maybe stick it in one of the side compartments on the bed, so I have it if, you know, all my other belts break and I forget to put a new one in when I go somewhere. Okay, so it's 17 minutes now. I'll go ahead and pull up to the shop. Okay, so the other night when I was running around trying to break in the Hunter Works belt that I had on the machine, I said that I was going to be getting the other belt, world's best belt from G-Boost, but life interfered. It showed up, I had a wedding to go to, and I had to finish getting ready for hunting. So the trailer is loaded, the truck is loaded, got new skins on the truck, got a little bit different method that I tied down the general this time. We'll see how this works. I pulled it in. I completely took that bed out on this side. Well, actually that's the dinette. That way I could get over here closer. Put a little more support on this board that's on my wheel well. Was able to drive it in like that, and then I jacked it up and put those blocks under it, so that the I don't have to worry about the suspension doing this and it walking towards the wall or towards the convection oven over there. So we'll see how this works out. It's tied fore and aft in the back. And these are just pulling down, keeping it tight on those. So I'll drive a little ways and stop and check it, see how it's doing. And not completely organized for the trip yet. Just throw it in there and it'll be fine. All right, we're gonna get in the truck and head out here in just a second. And when I get up to the hunting grounds, I'm gonna go on a long drive and see how that HunterWorks belt does. I noticed when that G-Boost belt came in, it said on it to go for a 20-mile drive and then let it cool, and then do that again. Well, it's a little bit different than what I've been doing with the low range thing that I was told. So I thought when I get there, I'll go for a long drive, well, 20-mile drive at least, with the HunterWorks belt, see how it's doing, and then if it's doing fine, probably sometime throughout the week I'll switch it out and put the G-Boost belt on and do the break-in on that, since I'll be out in the desert and have plenty of room to break it in properly. And then after both broke in, then I can compare the, see if I notice any difference in the belts, fine-tune the clutch, which over there won't be a good place to fine-tune because I'll be underpowered, but be a good place to break the belt in. All right, well, we're gonna hop in the truck and head out. Well, we're getting a little bit of precipitation on the windshield there every once in a while. Don't look like it's showing up in the camera, but we'll need some of that over east where I'm heading. So keep your fingers crossed. It's not really in the forecast, but it is Oregon. You never know. Things change all the time. It's so weird in the mountain passes here. It was 56 degrees when I left down home, and then I get up on the pass and it was 79 degrees, and now it's down to 67 degrees. It just goes up and down. Couldn't have been a couple miles back, more than a couple miles back, it was 79 degrees. Now it's 67. Very interesting stuff. So we're going through the pass here, heading up to the Crescent Cutoff in another 31 miles. Well, we just got on Highway 31. Heading out there about 1 more hour and we'll be there. So here's what it looks like just off of 97, heading out towards Silver Lake. Okay, I'm to the hunting grounds. I got the trailer leveled. I'll put the awning out later, put TW out. We are in the general, getting ready to go out for a test spin. Do a little hunting and do 20 miles of driving also. See how the clutch does. So here we go. If there's something good, I will pop it back on here. Okay, so here's where we are. I did some talking with Todd from HunterWorks, and I watched this video about the secondary making noise. It's a harmonics thing. Once you get to 5 miles an hour, he says, in low range, and 10 miles an hour in high range, the noise goes away. Pretty accurate. 6 miles an hour and 12 miles an hour. So he knows his stuff. And Typically, when that's happening, he says that your alignment is off. So you fix your alignment. Typically, you can make that go away. There are some cases that it'll still make that noise a little bit, and it's not the belt. If you watch his video on the subject on noise in your secondary or clutch slipping, no. If you watch his video about the clutch noises, he explains it pretty well. So the thing is, it's kind of a crapshoot. You could change your secondary out and put in a different one, but it's a crapshoot on whether you're going to get that noise go away or if it's just a different noise. Each particular machine, when the alignment is all perfect, he says it's very rare. Most time his belts work great, and sometimes you have to run a Gates belt or you have to run a G-Boost belt, and vice versa. People who normally run G-Boost sometimes have to run a Hunter Works. You never know which one it is. If your alignment is good and all that stuff is good, you just got to play with all the different belts to find the one that doesn't make the noise, or live with it. I saw no signs of slippage, so I do believe, my understanding is that it's just harmonics. It's just a noise. So I had the G-Boost belt on, and it made noise, and then all of a sudden it stopped. Weird. I don't know why. I had the Hunter Works belt on. It made the noise. So I hunted the whole day with the G-Boost and no noises. Maybe it was a day and a half. Anyway, no noises. So going over all this stuff with Scott, I put his belt back on and had a noise. Man, that sucks. Took that off, put the G-Boost back on, and noise went away. So in my situation, the G-Boost belt is quieter. Someone else that has this situation, I've checked my alignment. If your alignment is good and you still have this, you may have to run a Hunter's work. G-Boost may not work. A Gates belt maybe. A factory Polaris belt. It's hard to say. I did notice when I had my factory belt before the clutch kit, it had a sound when you'd go to take off. And as he describes, the clutch kit or bigger tires turns the volume up. I put a clutch kit in, the volume got turned up. He is dead on. So I would suggest you go check out his videos on the subject. It'll explain it better. I would definitely recommend his videos, his tech support, and his products. Unfortunately, the belt makes noise on my machine, so I'm gonna keep that one for a spare. Like I said, every machine could be different. This is the General XP apparently has the clutch out of a Razor XP, and some of them had noises, some of them didn't. So it's rare. Most of the time you're gonna be fine. I'm just a lucky one that has the rare noise. Alright, I hope this helps. Well, as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Trying to get to that 1,000 mark. Got a little ways to go, but I appreciate all the support I've been getting, and I hope I'm helping someone out there. So, thanks again. We'll see you on the next one.